What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this beautiful day, but if you're not, well, I hope it gets better for you. But anyway, so today we are going to be heading out to a Cars and Coffee, and let me tell you, this morning it is freaking freezing, bro. Like, I got little mocos coming out right now. I hope they don't dry up because it's gonna look horrible. So right now we are currently at an AM PM. We are waiting for one of my boys to pull up, and I hope he pulls up, because if he doesn't, then that means I'm riding in solo. But the only reason why I say I hope he pulls up is because he hasn't been responding back to my text messages this morning, and I think he might have missed his alarm. But that being said, I'm gonna give him about 5 more minutes, and if he doesn't answer, then we are going to the car meet itself. And I hope I can meet up with some people, because I know a lot of other people right now are going on a cruise, and I did not want to go on a cruise today because I have a podcast to do. So time is of the essence, so I decided to do something local. Hopefully it's a banger, and if not, well, then I don't know what to tell you other than enjoy the cars. All right, so I went ahead and waited, but I don't think bro woke up this morning. It's okay, it happens. It is a Sunday, and well, I did get a message from him at about 12 midnight, so I'm assuming he was out late, and well, who can blame him, right? It's the weekend, you gotta have fun anyway. So I'm gonna head over to the Cars and Coffee, so let's get this going. All right, so when I was on the freeway, I noticed that there was like a little like tapping, and I couldn't figure out what it was until I looked out of my windshield, and I figured it out. So if you notice, this one starts flapping around. It's hella loose. I open my door and check it out. It's out of that little like square. There you go. See, now it's back in there. So something happened there. So I'm gonna need to grab some double-sided tape and then just put it right there. And then I'm hoping I should be good after that, because if not, it's gonna keep tapping away and it's probably gonna break, so I need to make sure I fix that. All right, so this has to be probably one of the more sicker Miatas I have ever seen. Just look how thick that shit is. So there's a couple Fast and Furious cars here. It's a little windy, so if you guys pick up the wind, my bad. This one is pretty sick. So the NSX is pretty sick too. This one is really well modified. If you can tell right there, there is a supercharger back there. It's a big boy too, and the interior is super clean. I love that little tilt steering wheel, the one that gives you the option. That's pretty sick. Tastefully modified, interior is done beautifully, bro. This is goals right here, actually. And if you notice too, it has a little bit of a wide body kit. It pops out just like over there in the front too. See the little fenders? Look at the back. This is really, really done nice. The little scoop, everything is really, really tastefully modified. Crazy, bro. This one's really nice. Dude, it is freaking freezing for starters. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my nose is hella red. But right now, the meat is just starting to pick up. A lot of cars are starting to show up, but it seems like it's a lot more JDM cars here. I thought it was gonna be a really good mixture, but more JDM here, which I'm not upset at, but it is pretty cool to see the variety again that the JDM car culture has. Like, there's just so many options of cars, dude. Even some Euros here too. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this RX-7? The only reason why I bring it up is because this is one of the more affordable RX-7s. And I know there's a sick body kit that they make for it that we've seen at the Greddy one, that white one. But that body kit on this with an LS would be pretty sick. And the interior is really, really clean. It's got Recaros inside of it, tastefully modified. It looks like that OEM Plus look. Really, really clean. You could never go wrong with a Supra. It's for sure a color I have not seen on a Supra just yet, and it's a right-hand drive, and again, tastefully modified. Got the Supra on the seats, and it matches the exterior, which is really, really sick. I'm not exactly sure what you call these, but this style here has always been a favorite of mine. Look at that bad boy right there. Big fat turbo. It kind of looks like it's a V8 platform. Could be wrong, I'm not sure, but based off the tire, based off the setup, I want to say that's a V8. Imagine driving that This is pretty sick. That's the one thing about the classic cars, bro, is that the design teams that they had back then, I think they just gave them unlimited creativity because the styling is just so sick. He has airbags, as you guys can see. Oh, it's a Bel Air. Huh. I would have confused it for an Impala if I wasn't gonna read that. I'm a huge fan of the wheels too. You see how the wheels are color matched? And they just look so sick. I don't think you could really do that with a modern car. I don't know, that's just me, but classics, you can just get away with so much because just the style and the creativity is endless for these cars. Bagged Mustang. I have not seen this body kit since it first came out. It's been a really long time, actually. And I think the last company that created these, if I'm not mistaken, was Stage 3 Performance. But yeah, this one's pretty sick. Nismo GTR, I believe. This might be a GTS, actually. Oh, it says Skyline. Oh, it's a GTT. Haha, GTT. Yeah, okay, so these are pretty sick. For those of you that are not aware, when they did the Fast and Furious movies, they used a lot of GTTs, and they just used the body kits and stuff like that, because apparently back then, even R34s were a lot for the budget. So they used these because these were a lot cheaper, and these are still cheaper today. But I think they're gonna start getting up there in price because a lot of people are starting to get the wide body kit and everything that matches the GTR. Because you see that if you notice, the hips are more flat on this one, and then on the GTR they're more popped out. So a lot of people just replace that and the front fenders, and then you technically got yourself a GTR. So this is pretty sick. It's pretty sick to see. So I noticed that they have a little breakfast little stand here. I'm gonna try to see if they have anything that I can eat right now because I'm starving. All right, so I was walking up just like anybody else, and I thought it would have been Whipple supercharged, but dude, it has a Barra. Check it. Big single turbo. For those of you that don't know, this is the Ford, I guess you could say, equivalent to a 2JZ. So normally you find these out in Australia, which is pretty sick. But dude, just seeing it just literally reminds me of a 2JZ, but it's a Ford. That's insane. So the one thing that I actually like about BMWs is the attention to detail that they do, bro. Like all the carbon, everything that they do matches and it looks good. I know a lot of this is aftermarket, but this right here, from if I'm not mistaken, is factory. Imagine buying a car from factory and you have literally this boomerang right here of carbon fiber, and it's a strut tower, I'm assuming, right? To keep it all together. That's just so sick, bro. That's the one thing I wish like American vehicles did a lot more of. I know Corvette does a little bit of this and that, but I just wish Ford did that a lot more. So when we went up to the white Mustang, the one with the Barra in it, this is what I was expecting to see, but I didn't. So that's why I recorded it, because I was like, wow, that's actually very unique. You don't really get to see those over here because they're mainly in Australia. So it's really nice to see a Barra other than a Whipple. Don't get me wrong, Whipples are still sick. You know what I mean? They look really factory. If you just remove the supercharger on top of it and just put like a Ford plaque, no one would be able to tell you anything. That looks literally factory. I'm not sure how many of you guys are aware of this, but Super did something pretty cool. So once you get to a certain speed, that little plastic lip right there retracts in and out, kind of like an active aero wing, but they have that in the front. So it's very rare that you get to see those, because normally either they're not functional or people just leave that little plastic trim and they don't really pop that out. But not every day that you get to see that at all. So it's pretty sick. Let me see if I can give you guys a bottom view. You see? It's accurate. And this is a 90s car, so the fact that a Toyota in the 90s had this is pretty freaking sick. Another thing that I like about these cars, especially the Eras, is like the interiors. The interiors always had some pretty unique patterns and stuff like that. Obviously this one looks like you got it done to match the front and the rear, but it fits the era of the car. There's one car that I will show you, and when I find it, I'll show you that interior. All right, so this is one of them. Not sure how well you guys can see it, but if you look at the interior, it has that like old school kind of, not a confetti look, but patterns and stuff like that is actually pretty cool. Another thing too about the older cars that I do enjoy is that they put a lot of suede material, or whatever this fabric is, which in my personal opinion is pretty sick, and I hope they bring that back and not just in the base models, you know what I mean? All right guys, and that is it for today's video. But if you guys can see, I am currently in the podcast room. I always mention the podcast and I never really show it to you guys, but this is the podcast room. I got the lights and everything going on. I'm about to edit today's video, and while I'm waiting for my guests to arrive and my boy Martin. Martin is the guy that helps me out, that sits at that desk over there. He's kind of like my Jamie if you watch Joe Rogan. But with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, because that'll let you guys know every time we upload. But I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Oh wait, if you want to check out the podcast, links in the bio. Anyway, peace.